Right there everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be giving a little look back to what went wrong for Manchester City at Old Trafford. Derby Day, 187th meetup I believe it is, for a Manchester derby. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went ahead, done the treble against Man City rather. It was very embarrassing, very annoying. But today I'll just be going through what, in my opinion, as a City fan's opinion, what went wrong for us. What was it? First and foremost, I'd say it's a problem that we've been having ever since Vincent Kompany left, and a lot of commentators and a lot of pundits do like to talk about it. Leadership. Who is our standout leader at the club? To be honest, right now, our main one I'd say is Kevin De Bruyne, but we can't be too reliant on him for the simple fact that he is always, well, not always injured, but he's a lot more frequently injured than he has been in the time he has been at Man City since 2015, I believe. So in past 5 years, he has been frequently, this is the first time in 5 years he has been frequently injured, and it is worrying. I'm not going to lie, it is very worrying and very annoying for the fact that he's always injured. But this is something which I've always thought about, is that who is our standout captain? Who is someone who's got that pure leadership? Fernandinho for this game, he's a bit on and off, I suppose you could say. He does have a lot of experience, 34. Of course, he'll have a lot of experience and a lot to talk about. Still, it just is frustrating for the simple fact that, of course, Kevin De Bruyne is always injured, and the who should be our leader going forward, our captain. I did make this a point on YouTube, on the comment section of Steam Company rather, YouTube channel about this. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And there was people replying to me saying that people like Kyle Walker should be our leader, our captain, our American Laporte, Edison. They're not really too bad of a shout. I mean, Laporte, he's got the same problem as De Bruyne, even though he would be very good for leadership. He is always injured. Kyle Walker, I never really considered him for a captaincy, and he can fill in that role, I feel. He does produce a lot of errors, that just goes without saying really, but he's our best right back, our best full back, I'd say, on his day. And in terms of leadership, I feel as though that's right on the money. He can very much go ahead and be that. But for this game, it was just unfortunate. We weren't playing Kyle Walker because we didn't have that leadership. We were playing a couple of our not players who we would necessarily go for our starting 11. So we had Cancelo in there, who, saying that, during the game, it wasn't actually too bad. All the passes and everything, a couple of right tackles, but it just didn't pay off. And of course, we went ahead and lost 2-0. Zinchenko, I do like him. He has got brilliant potential. I do like the lad. His attitude and everything at the club is just brilliant, and his personality as well. But he's just really lacking on the physical side when you compare it to like Benjamin Mendy, who, I'll be honest, there is times where I don't particularly rate Benjamin Mendy. I do find him to be quite lazy, but he has been turning up in recent games recently, especially against Sheffield Wednesday, where he did have a shot smacked off the crossbar. He has been, like I said, turning it up. He has been very good, and if he carries this on, he could be very much a favourite with all the fans. So I don't think I'm the only one who doesn't particularly rate Benjamin Mendy that much, but he does have very good games, and he's young. I like to say a lot, but he can only just get better. Otamendi, just doing what Otamendi does best, has the odd good game, but bad games very much do outweigh it. His tackles and everything, his interceptions, they do lead to errors. One of them was nearly a penalty, but Mike Dean gave against Fred. He took Fred down. It did look like he was sort of mistiming his footing, but looking back at it, it probably should have been given as a penalty, I must be honest. But Mike Dean gave the booking to Fred, thinking that he went and dived in the challenge. So he went ahead and done that. It was probably a bad decision, probably not the right decision from Mike Dean, but regardless, we move on. In the midfield, there wasn't, to be honest, in this game, who was our best player? Who was it? Aguero, he was okay. He was making some good little, when the ball came to him, he did make good little one-touch passes, and they were coming off at certain points. There was one point where he did score, but he was caught offside. It was very close. In my opinion, I'd say it wasn't offside. It was just too close to call. Even VAR, it did make it look a bit too close. A bit like with comparing that to what's his name, Jack Grealish's offside goal against Burnley, where I think it was against Burnley, where his heel was offside. VAR is just too close and a bit too ridiculous, in my opinion. it's very controversial, more controversial than anything else in football, I suppose you could say. Well, apart from racism and money, but still, it's just this game was just pure frustration, just over and over and over again. I did not want to watch the highlights. Every time City lose, I just avoid social media as much as possible, because I know we would just get axed, just get absolutely destroyed by all kinds of fans about how terrible we were. And in this game, we're no exception. We were in fact just awful. Looking at the stats here, possession wise, we had 72%, Man United 78%, so we were dominating as always in that aspect. Pass accuracy, ours was 88, theirs was 73. Shots on target, theirs was 6, ours was 4. Let's just have a look, see if there's any more statistics. Corners, we had more corners than them, 11 compared to their 2. We had more offsides though. We won more aerial duels, which is quite surprising for us, because comparing our squad to Man United's, our team is very short compared to them. Our tallest player on the pitch was what's his name is Rodrigo, 6'3", but with Man United you got players like Lindelof, 6'2", Maguire and McTominay, 6'4". But still, that's just by the by. Going into the goals as well, all their Man United goals came from errors. And that tells you one of two things. Firstly, that we are just making too many errors and we're just getting too much caught out, or Man United have got to such a point that the only time they can take advantage of scoring is from errors and not from making their own chances on goal. I'm sort of split between the two. Honestly, I can't pick one or the other. That's not me being biased. That's not me being a sore loser. It's just looking at it from that perspective. I don't know which I'd go for. I'd just say it's a bit of both. But of course, in any footballing aspect, it's either one or the other. But I'm just still going to go ahead with a bit of both. Yeah, the goals, Martial's goal, it was a good free kick. I can't deny it was a very good free kick from Fernandes to Martial. It was Edison should have done better. He just should have had more stronger hands. He did take a touch. It was not the best of saves, as I'm pretty sure Gary Neville made the point in commentary. I bet he was well happy, well chuffed with this result. At the end of the day, it was just not a very good game for us. Their second goal from Scott McTominay. Again, it was an error. Looking at it, who was the pass that Edison made where he threw the ball? Who was he actually trying to aim for? Was he just throwing it willy-nilly, just messing about? Because it did sort of look like that. And Scott McTominay, I mean, give him space, give him room. He's been scoring a lot from outside the box. He's been a very good, consistent long shot taker, I suppose you could say, which is quite surprising. Because of course, before Solskjaer came in, Ollie at the wheel, he wasn't really scoring much, not really having much game time, to be honest. And now he's just scoring outside the box screamers left, right, and centre. To be honest, yeah, it was a good goal, whatever, but still, all these goals were from errors, and Man United just took the advantage. And if anything, I'm going to say straight up, we deserve that loss. It is quite salty, quite frustrating in my voice without saying that, but yeah, we just didn't play that well. Phil Foden on the right, he was good against Villa, but for this match, Man United were just looking at the lineups here, just on screen. Man United were just too compressed, too tight in their own half, and that just made it very difficult for us to push through. Phil Foden, he did have one shot on target, which was tipped over the bar by David De Gea, but still, we just weren't particularly that very good, I must be honest. Sterling on the left did look like a lost parcel. He's not really suited on the left. People say he's more suited on the right, and Phil Foden is better off in centrally. Still, how can we recover from this game? I mean, if you look ahead at all the next games, our next one would be against Arsenal. That one has been postponed due to the coronavirus, because Olympiacos owner and Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis, I think that's how you pronounce it, has contracted the virus, COVID-19, and he did meet some Arsenal players when the Greek side played against them in the second leg of Europa League last 32 in North London 13 days ago. As a result, the players who met with him are unavailable for tonight's match against Man City and will be in self-isolation again until Friday. Health guidelines from the government recommend that anyone coming into close contact with someone with the virus should self-isolate at home for 14 days from the last time they had contact. I will be discussing this in my next video or another video in the near-distant future. Near-distant future, that makes sense, didn't it? About the coronavirus, because it is a very serious thing that's been happening, and I will be mainly discussing it. Well, we'll be discussing about how it's affecting the football world. I'm not blasé or stupid about for the fact that it has had effects on the real world, but this mainly being a football-based channel, I will be talking about it football-wise. Speaking of Raheem Sterling as well, this is all on One Football. All this information I'm getting from, links will be in the description. Sterling is incredibly positive, Guardiola says, and he even backs misfiring Man City forward. He hasn't been scoring since Christmas. He has been it's a very slow decline for Sterling. He's not really contributed that too much. England forward Sterling enjoyed a prolific start to the campaign that included hat-tricks against West Ham and Atalanta. However, he is now scoreless in 12 matches, with the last of his 20 goals in all competitions coming when he netted a brace in a 3-2 Premier League defeat to Wolves in December. So yeah, it's just not looking very good for us, put it that way. We've 7 losses this season. That's the most that Guardiola has got in a managerial season ever in his managerial career. We've got as many losses as Arsenal, which is quite embarrassing. And we're sort of in like a phase that Arsenal were now about who's our standout leader, who's the one who's going to grab the ball by the horns, as it were, and to lead their side. We have a couple of players, but no one really stands out as being permanent. It's all just being passed around like a hot potato. Let's put it that way. It's just how it is. I hate to say, but we're sort of going into a phase of Tottenham as well, where we're just bottling matches. Like this game against Man United, we should have won it, because like Man United, they've been turning up a bit lately, but the way we've all seen Man United this season is that they haven't been too outstanding. They aren't a team that we should be losing to. I mean, fair enough, after this game, we are still up 12 points clear from them. And we have got as many losses also as Sheffield United, which I will take, because Sheffield United have been brilliant this season. And to be honest, considering 2 years ago they were in League One, they are definite deservings for Champions League football next season, particularly if we do not overturn our ban as well. But still, nevertheless, the way I see it in this game, like I said, we didn't play like we just didn't play as if we wanted it. Man United just wanted it more than us. They were at the back, they were just better defensively than us. De Gea, he had a good day at the office. McTominay was brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but he just was very good. Their best player, I believe he got man of the match, was Bruno Fernandes. He went ahead and won PFA Player of the Month this season, which I didn't want to vote for him, but like I said, I think he will go ahead and get it, and he's gone and done just that. So overall in this game, we were not good enough. Hopefully we can just bounce back with the Arsenal game. That might be postponed. I will be postponed to a later date, so our next game will probably be against Burnley or Real Madrid. Real Madrid one, it'll either be played behind closed doors, just like all the other the last 2 previous, I think it was just one actually, the Valencia versus Atalanta, that was played behind closed doors. That'll be the same for us, or the game that will just be postponed entirely, just because everyone's got to be very careful about this horrible virus going around. But still, that's where I'm just going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're not, and I'll see you lot in a bizzle.